Whether you are in college, whether you are in high school, or whether you're working, making smart and effective notes is a very important skill. Now, making effective notes has multiple benefits, but the two important that I can point out is for effective revision and increasing your productivity. Hi guys and welcome back to my channel. I am Dr. Noor Saira, an endodontist and a part-time YouTuber. If you are new to my channel and if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe and hit the notification bell icon so that you're notified every time I upload a video. Well, note taking is not copying huge chunks of information or writing down everything that you read in a book or writing down everything that you hear in a lecture. But note taking is a skill where you just write down the filtered information or the key points which will help trigger the information that you have read in the book or you heard during a lecture. So it's important to understand and filter your information. Now, how to filter the information is covered in another video of mine where I make you understand the three levels of reading which is basically consumption, filtration, and master note taking. So there you can understand how to filter the information. In this video, we'll purely talk about the different systems of note taking, which will help you understand your notes better in the future, help you revise better in the future, and increase your productivity. Well, the important reasons why you should make notes is the first thing and the most important thing is that notes are written down in your own language. You write it down in your own understanding and you write it down in your own thought process. So the way you write it down and the next time when you read it, it triggers your thought process in the same way, and the same information that you have read in the book just flows back into your mind. So this is the importance of note making. Second important thing is that since you have filtered information from 2 or 3 books or probably from books and lectures together, and when you make the notes, everything is condensed into one place. So since it's condensed into one place, the next time when you go back and revise, you are saving up on time, you're saving up on efforts, you have more retention, more long-term memories reinforced, and hence you get better results. Another important thing about making notes is that studies show that students who make notes have performed better when compared to students who do not make notes. So making notes saves you from all the confusion that you would have gone through just before a few days before the exam, where you were confused as to which book to read, which book to leave. So since everything is condensed into one book after you have filtered 2 or 3 books and you have written it down and everything is condensed, all you have to do is confidently go back and read your notes that you have made. And it is a boon because you have condensed everything in one place and it's like you're revising 2 or 3 books. So this is the importance of master note making. Now there are three thumb rules when you make the master notes, and the first and the most important rule that I would say is that do not jot down everything, just jot down the key points. For example, you will jot down if you're studying anything related to oral pathology or medicine, and if there is a different name for the disease, you jot that down first. You jot down the definitions first. You jot down the if there are any classifications first. You jot down any formulas first. So you write down the main things first, and do not fill your notes with theory. It's important to write the framework. It's important to write the key points first. Second important thing is that keep it very simple. Do not use hyphen words. Keep it in a simple language, that when you go back and look at it, it's easier for you to revise. It's easier for that word to trigger your thought process. Always use short words, or short forms. For example, WRT with respect to, or I.E for that is, you tend to write faster. You tend to keep it simple. Try to use colored pencils, a different color pen when you're writing down something important, or writing down a more pathognomic feature of that disease. Use a different color pen or a pencil. The third and the most important thing that you should really do is revise a subject, or if you're reading for the first time, read the subject before you attend the lecture the next day. or the same day, but read it before you attend the lecture. So what happens is, when you're reading this information, or even if you're making note of that information before you attend the lecture, you are already learning something once. You've written down notes. Next day, when you go ahead and listen to the lecture, firstly and most importantly, that information is getting reinforced in your mind. Secondly, you are prepared with questions, or if you have any doubts, it's cleared then and there. Thirdly, when the teacher or the lecturer points out to the most important things, you can always mark it there. And always be attentive about something that the lecturer is constantly repeating, so that you understand that this is important. If the lecturer is adding additional information, you're always ready to write down extra. It's like you've covered one extra material and you're already ready with your notes. All you have to do is go back and revise. So you're pre-prepared with the information. So these are the important thumb rules that you should remember while making notes. Let's move on to understand the different note making systems that we have. The first system is the outlining system or the bulleting system. This is probably one of the most easiest system to make notes, and it probably comes naturally to everybody. It's basically understanding the main topics of that subject and writing them as headings, and then under the headings you make bullet and you write in-depth information about them. Let's have an example. So when taking your outline notes, you start by choosing 4 or 5 key points that will be covered in the lecture. For example, when discussing about the Paget's disease of the bone, we would write headings like the etiopathogenesis, the definition, the radiographic features, the histological features, and so on. And beneath these points, you write down some in more depth, sub points about each topic as you read about it, or as the professor covers them. For example, in etiopathogenesis about the Paget's disease, you would write that there is severe distortion because of weakening of the affected bone, because of intense wave of osteolytic activity, and then there is resorption of the normal bone. Then there's irregularly shaped resorption cavity, then there is a vigorous osteoblastic activity, and then there's formation of woman bone. And under the radiographic features, you will write about initial osteolytic phase, followed by a mixed phase, and then followed by a predominant osteoblastic or sclerotic final phase. So you will write in-depth features about the topics, the main topics that you have written. Now, if you're taking outline notes by hand, be sure to leave enough space on each page so that you have plenty of room for all your subpoints. Or you can take them on a computer and simply rearrange as you go into your next document. And this is a very great and simple approach to take notes, especially for people who like simplicity. Now, it'll help you follow along and pay attention during the class. Well, the next system is the CORNELL system. Well, it was introduced by Professor Walter Park in Cornell University, and this is considered as the most organized way of taking notes. Let us see how this is done. It's probably a way ahead than the simple bullet taking system, and it is a little more organized, and it really helps in revising the subject very easily. Let us go ahead and see how this system works. Well, in this system, you will divide your page into 2 columns and label the larger right column as notes and the smaller left column as the review questions. And this will basically, these 2 columns will rest on a foundation named summary. So during the lecture, you have to write down your notes in the notes column. The motive is to list facts or statistics and the main points of the lecture in the form of a bullet taking system or the outlining system. And after the lecture, reduce each note into a question and enter it into your review question side. For example, what is Paget's disease? Or what is a cotton wool appearance? Or what is a mosaic pattern? So, and then you will cover the note section with a book and you will try to ask yourself these questions later on. So, once you have taken the notes, you're done with the note making, and then you have the introspect part of it, where you cover the note taking column with a sheet of paper but leave the review questions visible, and you question yourself, try to recall the information by answering these questions. And when you are done, uncover the note taking column and verify what you have said or imagined. Then you take a 5 minutes break and now narrate the whole topic to yourself or to a friend or to a family member. The accuracy of the idea you narrated shows the degree of your comprehension. When you're done doing the exercise, write a brief summary of it in the summary section. And this ultimately becomes like a flashcard for yourself. And every time you revise, this becomes beneficial and easy for you to revise, and it also does form of a picture memory in your head. And as the retention of knowledge decreases with time, it's advisable for you to revise any topic every week by picking up the flashcards like this. Third system, or the mind mapping system, it is a very visual and a fun way of writing down your notes, where basically any topic which has a flow to it or which has a pathway to it or anything which has an information to it can be drawn in form of a mind map, now which will enhance your picture memory and help you revise and also reinforce the information better. Also, it will help you remember the information for a longer duration because you are creating a picture memory in your mind. So let us see how the mind map basically works. So in Paget's disease, we know if we understand the disease, we can draw a mind map like this as to what is it called. It's called as osteoitis deformans. What is the etiopathogenesis? It's defective bone resorption and deposition. Then what is where is it more commonly seen? It's seen in the stress bearing areas and long bones. And what are the typical facies that you have? Semen appearances and the leontiasis ossea, that is a lion like appearance. Then we have the cotton wool appearance or the gross hypercementosis, which is the main radiographic features. And what is the histological feature? You have the jigsaw puzzle and the mosaic pattern. So this is one form of a mind map which can create about the disease, and ultimately it's beneficial for you. Later it again functions like a flashcard, and you can save it either in a hand note or in your laptop, and later when you every time you want to revise, you can just come across this mind map, and this gets registered in your mind as a picture memory. And every time you remember Paget's disease, you will see this entire clouds in your mind, and you'll remember all the specific points, and it'll trigger the entire information. So mind map can be created in this way, or you can even create flow charts wherever possible. For example, when you're talking about anything related to anatomy or any thing which has a pathway. For example, we talk about trigeminal ganglion. It exists from the middle cranial fossa, travels through the lateral wall of the cavernous sinus. The maxillary branch basically exists through the foramen rotundum, then through the pterygopalatine fossa, and then it enters in the group of the posterior surface of maxilla, and through the infraorbital fissure into the infraorbital. It becomes the infraorbital nerve, and then it comes out of the face off through the infraorbital foramen or on the face. Or you can also create a framework of a flow chart when you're talking about larger pathways. For example, the arches or the arch of aorta branches, how it divides into brachiocephalic trunk and then further on into the right internal carotid artery or the right external carotid artery, or talking about the left common carotid artery and the left subclavian artery. You can draw this entire flow chart, and ultimately this becomes very easy to revise. It is very easy to take notes like this, and you can highlight whatever you feel is important. This will get saved in your mind as a picture memory, and it is easy to recall and reinforce long-term memory when you study with methods like these. So these were the three important note-taking systems, of which probably the CORNELL system and also the mind mapping and the flowchart and the framework will really help you a lot. Now, I hope this video was beneficial for you. I would also emphasize that you watch my video on the 3 level of reading, how to filter the information, and how to write down notes. So this video was on the system, that is, how do you write down the notes and what way should you write down the notes. But what do you actually write down? Do you write down everything, and how do you filter the information? So I would emphasize that you go ahead and watch the video. I will link it down below. I hope this video was beneficial and helpful. And if you did like the video, please leave a comment below, like and share with your friends. Also do subscribe to my channel so that you're notified every time I upload a video. Have a good day and thank you. For more such videos, please like, share, follow and subscribe my YouTube channel. You can also follow me on Instagram. Have a good day. Thank you.